They really had some neat ideas. And really the question that I want you to think about, if this is something that you want to do, is how can we allow students to experience history through that video game experience? And some people have talked about like VR. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever done the Google, like the VR stuff where you can go to Rome or whatever and look around. It's kind of cool, but like you want more, right? Like you can find some, you know, fight people, etc. So be thinking about that kind of thing if that's what you're interested in. So that would be the U.S. History video game. Okay, the next one, the partner is the African American Museum of Iowa. They've had a couple cool ideas that we could really work on. One of them is developing their exhibits. They have temporary exhibits that they bring in from time to time. So like they'll have them for like 6 to 8 months. So a lot of times when they're setting that stuff up, you know, they have ideas for things that they'd like to be created, but then you just need people to create them. So that would be something if you've ever thought about like, what would it be like to be a curator of a museum or to create an exhibit? And if you're interested in history or education, this would be a really good project. And also researching, are you good at research, or would you like to learn how to be a good researcher? This would be an excellent project for you. And the people at the African American Museum are awesome. They're super fun. So it would be a good partner. Okay, the next project is Storytellers, carrying on their legacy. Oops. Different format, I guess. And this project's kind of neat. Actually, Liz worked with some students a couple years ago from Limar, right? Mm-hmm. That went to Mercy Hospital, and they would write down, they'd interview some of the patients that either were terminally ill or just so ill they couldn't, write their own thing. A lot of people, as they get older, they get arthritis in their hands and they can't write their stories. So if you are interested in the medical field, it's really hard for us to find projects for kids to work on medically because of HIPAA and some of the regulations and patient privacy. But this would be a good experience in patient relationship building. My parents are of the baby boomer generation and they're getting older. So say you do become a nurse or a doctor, you're going to be seeing a lot of people in their 80s. And so this will be a good experience for that. Also, if you're interested in journalism or writing personal narratives, this would be a cool project. And just if you love learning and personal histories, that's kind of my jam. I love learning about people's history. That's why I think history is really cool. Like, I don't care about the tanks and actually I love tanks and guns, but I'm not like, ooh, I know what that tank is. I'd prefer to hear someone's story. So for instance, I interviewed, actually I did this for a while one summer. I volunteered at a nursing home, and you meet some really cool people. And one lady had never been outside of Iowa her entire life. Like, she was 92 years old, never left the state of Iowa. I'm like, what? That's crazy. Because now we're going everywhere, but nope, she never left. And a lot of her, fond memories are of dances and fireman balls and things that they used to do, but they don't really do that much anymore. So anyway, be a cool experience. Switching gears, next project would be the Cultural Brokers Project. So this project, and I don't know if you saw in the paper yesterday, there is an article about welcoming immigrants into the community and refugees. And how do we do that? How do we connect people? So if I want you to imagine for a second, you're coming from, or say we're here, right? And we're going to a different country. We don't speak the language, or we speak maybe a little bit. So I speak a little bit of Spanish. So let's say my family decided, or maybe we didn't even decide, maybe we had to leave. And Argentina was taking in refugees. So I get to Argentina. And there are a couple people that speak a little bit of English, but mostly everyone's speaking in Spanish, right? And I know just a little bit of Spanish. So how am I going to find a job? How am I going to find a place to live? How am I going to figure out how to get food? Is there a church that would accept me? I mean, there's all sorts of things that you would have to think about, right, if you're moving somewhere. So we're trying to think of something for Cedar Rapids. We had a group working on this last year. They were all seniors. They're all seniors. And they came up with an idea of kind of becoming almost like, like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, that program. Almost like that, but for your family, for another family that's come here. So it's almost like adopt a family, and it's not just like, here's Christmas presents. It's not that at all. It's more like they come and you say like, hey, there's a farmer's market today, and you take them down to the Cedar Rapids farmer's market. Or if they have questions about like, where do I go, for my taxes, or something like that. You can kind of help, sort of like, that's what a cultural broker would be. It would be someone that you could ask questions of. Because right now, like Catherine McCauley Center, have you heard of that? They do a lot of like the English education, and they help people out like legally and stuff. The Catholic Charities also does that. But they're just being able to plug people into that social network, right? That would be something that our kids last year were interested in doing. And this could pivot too, but if you get a chance, I brought in the article. I think Laura has it over the table, so if you want to check that out, if you're interested. Like I said, how can we better welcome immigrants and refugees? What challenges do they face? Actually, Amanda provided books through Barnes & Noble. We kind of read those that are really interesting. It talks about like a woman who helped refugees in her community in Nebraska. And then how can we ease their transition? All right, I think this is the last one. Treasure hunters. This is a project I kind of came up with. I said, what? There aren't any pirates in Iowa, but that's actually not true. There were river pirates on the Mississippi. I don't know if you knew that, but there were. So this project would be like a fun mix of geography and history. I don't know if you know this, but Bonnie and Clyde, the famous Bonnie and Clyde, they're rumored to have stashed treasure near Dexter, Iowa. Another famous treasure, Jesse James and his gang robbed a train in Adair, which is in the western part of the state. The loot was never found. Some people think it was around that area. Some people think they took it down to Oklahoma. And then finally, like I said, there were river pirates. They operated in the Mississippi River. They may have hid their stolen money in a cave near the town of Bellevue. There's all these legends, right, about treasure. And I just picked 3. But there's like 15, 16, 17 of these legends around the state, which are really cool. And I think it'd be a fun project. We could do history, we could do geography, we could try to figure out where it is, maybe over spring break, we go there. Anyway, but there's a lot of research involved. You can't just, topographical. Yes?
Who would the partner be for that?
American Pickers.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, that would be
There's Iowa Diggers. There's like, what we would do is probably go to a metal detecting place and really start there, because they know a lot of people, but it'd be a neat idea. But anyway, that is the treasure hunter.
Just to comment too about